Good evening to all and welcome to the session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. Today's editorial is all about Aadhaar seeding. Not that difficult to comprehend or understand, but a few sentences are pretty lengthy. You got to read twice or thrice, and only a few words to learn. Let us start the session with the tone of the editorial. The tone of the editorial is critical and concerned. Critical means what? Criticizing, talking about what is bad, what is negative, and concern because a lot of beneficiaries are going to get affected. The writer shows concern. The writer is highlighting the issues and challenges associated with the mandatory Aadhaar seeding for MGN REGS beneficiaries. As I said, beneficiaries get affected because of a particular thing. Based on that, the writer shows concern and also criticizing the government for doing certain things. Let us start with the editorial vocabulary. The very first one, seeding. We all know the word seed. Seed can be a noun, can be a verb, but not the regular meaning. Here, seeding has a different meaning altogether. Process of linking other number with primary bank account number. In this context, seeding means what? It's a process. Process of what? Linking other number with primary bank account number. That linking is called, the process is called seeding. Beneficiary, a person or thing that receives a help or an advantage from someone or something. Not a thing, usually we say person. A person who gets benefited, obviously a beneficiary. Mandatory, we have got many a time. Mandate, mandatory. Mandatory part of speech adjective, required by a law or rule, something that is compulsory or obligatory. And dampener. Dampener, a new word, though we have got a few times. Part of speech noun, something is a dampener. Something that makes something else less active, less exciting, or less enjoyable. Imagine you're enjoying a party. Someone comes and says something that spoils your mood and you become less excited or you stop enjoying. Then you call that person a dampener. Content has got many meanings. In this context, as a verb, assert something as a position in an argument. When there is an argument, you want to assert, firmly state your position, then contend, a different meaning altogether. Devoid takes a preposition of, you have to remember. Devoid of something. Part of speech adjective, not having something usual or expected, completely without something. You can also think of devoid of means lack of, dearth of. Here there's one important word, dearth of, lack of, shortage of, devoid of, important expression. Recourse, we have got a few times. Part of speech noun, a source of help in a difficult situation. You are in a difficult situation or you are experiencing some sort of hardship, then you depend on something, on a particular source. That source is called a recourse. Discrepancy, an important word. We have got a few times. Part of speech noun, an unexpected difference, especially in two amounts or two sets of facts or conditions, which suggests that something is wrong and has to be explained or corrected. I think of myself, I have a particular image, but what others think may be different. Then we say there's a discrepancy in what he thinks and what others think of him. Have you got the meaning of that? Usually it goes with facts and figures. There's a discrepancy in the report, or there are many discrepancies in the report, means something that is not acceptable. I'm sure you all know the word error, erroneously, part of speech adverb, in a way that is wrong or false, mistake, not correct, erroneously. Consent, we have got so many times, part of speech noun, he has given his consent, means what? Permission or agreement obtained from someone or something, having authority or power, generally from someone. He gave his consent, means what? His permission or his agreement. Bear out, an important one. Usually, I tell students regular classes, bear past. What is the past form? Bore. But past participle, we have two forms, born and also borne. Born, first one is to give birth. Borne. This is important. I'll use a capital letter. Means to carry something. To carry something. Based on this, we have airborne disease. What do you understand from that? Disease carried by air. Waterborne, waterborne disease or diseases. Usually we use a plural form. Waterborne diseases carried by water. No one is infallible. That is true. Why that one? Coming to bear out. In this context, bear out means support or confirm something. Support something or confirm something. More than confirm, support. A different meaning altogether. Only these words, not too many words, as I said. Let us go to the editorial and see how it starts and what it has got to say and what is there to learn from proficiency point of view. Faulty compulsion. Faulty. Oh, based on that, perhaps Nagendrama has written. Usually, I give one quote: "No one is infallible." What do you understand from this? No one is infallible. Fallible means liable to make a mistake. No one is infallible means no one is perfect. We all make mistakes. That is part of life. Here it starts with a negative word: faulty compulsion. Something that is not correct, faulty, and compulsion, forcing someone to do something. Compulsion, something compulsory. Enforce, force, make something compulsory or mandatory. And what is this related to? On the issue of MGN REGS and Aadhaar seeding. The main idea, it's all about Aadhaar seeding. And seeding means what in this context? Process of linking Aadhaar number with primary bank account number. Aadhaar number, primary bank account number, you link these two and through a process, that process is called seeding. But here I would like to tell something very useful and important. Seed is a noun, we all know that. Seed can also be a verb. As a verb, it has a positive meaning, it has a negative meaning. Negative meaning to remove the seeds, to remove the seeds. Then we say something has been seeded. What does it mean? The seeds have been removed. Like this, we have a few important words. First one, in this context, I would like to write, again related to plants, a weed. Weed can be a noun, weed can be a verb. As a noun, unwanted plant in the garden. As a verb, to remove the unwanted plants. Imagine, that is a regular meaning, Anusha, sowing. Imagine I have got some unwanted plants in my garden. I remove those. Those are known as weeds. I remove those weeds. Then, as a verb, weed out. Very good. I weeded the unwanted plants in the garden, means what I removed. And they have given these many a time in different competitive exams. Dust. Dust as a noun, a negative word. Dust as a verb, a positive word. Remove the dust from the table or remove the dust on the table. Here it's a noun. Remove what? Dust. But I dusted the table. When I say I dusted the table, what does it mean? I removed the dust on the table, a positive meaning. All the three words you have to remember, but here seeding has a different meaning altogether. What is the main idea of this editorial? Issues with Aadhaar seeding are a headache for MG and REGS beneficiaries. Beneficiary, a person who gets benefited because of a particular scheme or a policy or someone or something. That's an easy word to understand. But here's something important you have to focus on. Issues with Aadhaar seeding means linking your Aadhaar number with the primary bank account, the process. Issues with Aadhaar seeding are a headache for MG and REGS beneficiaries. Why is this important? Why should you focus on a headache? Usually, a common error, we say, I have fever, I have headache, I have cold, I have cough. Wrong. We have to use the indefinite article a before all these: cold, cough, fever, here, headache. I have a cold, I have a cough, I have a fever. But usually, what do we say? I have fever. That is not correct. And this has been given in some exams. You have to remember. Let's see how it starts with the government refusing to extend the deadline for other details of workers under the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme to be ceded to their job cards beyond December 31st, 2023. A lengthy sentence and not complete. It talks about the stand taken by the government. Government refused to extend something. Refusing to extend what? The deadline for Aadhaar details of workers under this particular scheme to be ceded to their job cards. Ceded to the job cards, a link to the job cards beyond, they did not want to extend the date beyond 31st, 2023, December. Now, what is the date? January 3rd. So the date deadline over. To enable, why did they demand that? To enable payments through an Aadhaar based payment system. This is also about Aadhaar seeding and also about a particular system. What is that system? Aadhaar based payment system. To enable payments through an Aadhaar based payment system, the system has now become mandatory. Now, this system is mandatory, means what? Compulsory, obligatory, required by a law or rule. Alarmingly, what is the impact of this? Now, why should the editorial or why should the newspaper come up with an editorial related to this? If it makes an impact on a lot of people, especially those who are downtrodden, an important expression I have just used, not because I have used, it is important from the exam point of view. It goes with effective English. Downtrodden, underprivileged, all these expressions you got to remember and use in your descriptive English. Underprivileged, backward, and also downtrodden people, downtrodden communities, underprivileged, backward. One more important word: marginalized. Marginalized communities means they're not part of the mainstream, and any policy that goes with these people is important because we always talk about inclusive growth. What do we talk about? Inclusive growth. This is also an important expression you have to remember. Alarmingly, what is the negative impact of this? Alarmingly, the decision would now affect, again, you have to be alert, affect and effect. Affect is a verb, effect can be a verb, can be a noun, but generally used as a noun. All our students know that. Would now affect nearly 35% of job card holders for this mode of payment and 12.7% of active workers. What does it mean, active workers? Those who have worked at least one day in the last 3 financial years, one day in the last 3 financial years, and have worked, which tense is that? Present perfect tense. Thereby putting a dampener on the demand driven scheme for many. Demand driven means what? There's a lot of demand driven scheme. Based on the demand, the scheme has come into existence. Demand driven scheme for many. And there's an important word: dampener. Dampener, usually a person, someone we are all enjoying. Someone comes and says something and spoils our mood. Then what do we say? We say he is a dampener. Something that makes something, in this context, not someone, something. That's something that makes something less active, less exciting, or less enjoyable. Dampener. The government also contends that content has got many meanings in this context. Asserts something as a position in an argument. That means it tries to justify. The government also contends that as the ABPS has been in place, which tense is this? Present perfect active voice, has been in place for MGN REGS from 2017. Tell me what is the error in this sentence. I'm waiting for your response. What is wrong with this? The government also contends that as the ABPS has been in place for a particular scheme from or since, what is the correct preposition here? Since 2000, with present perfect and present perfect continuous, we use two prepositions. What are those two prepositions? Since, for. Since goes with specific time and for goes with a time period. Here 2017. So what is the appropriate preposition? Since 2017, something has been in place, and because Aadhaar number availability is near universal in India, now everyone, almost everyone has Aadhaar number. That's what it means. Because Aadhaar number availability is near universal in India, the ABPS is a robust and a safer way to transfer wages. Robust means very strong. We have got so many times an easy word, so I haven't brought the meaning. Robust means what? Strong and sturdy. And a safer way, because it is a strong system, a safer way to transfer wages. However, the over reliance on technical tools. Aadhaar is a technical thing, and this ABP is also a technical thing. Based on that, here contrasting word, however, the writer opines or the editorial opines, the over reliance, rely means what? Depend. And you have to recollect phrasal verbs like rely on, bank on, depend on. All these you have to recollect. Rely on technical tools has resulted, present perfect active voice, in problematic implementation. There is a saying in English, what is it? Too good is too bad. Have you heard of this? There is another saying, too many cooks spoil the broth, or too many cooks spoil the dinner. And too much of dependence on something also becomes a problem. That's what the sentence says. However, the over reliance on technical tools has resulted in problematic implementation. Too much of dependence on technology when it comes to implementation, we may encounter a few problems. With beneficiaries devoid of a proper recourse, devoid of, the beneficiaries do not have a solution for the problem, devoid of, lack of, proper recourse. Recourse in this context means what? A source of help in a difficult situation. They are devoid of a proper recourse for corrections in the system. You all know Aadhaar, and when it comes to any something that is from based on the government, to get the corrections not that easy. You have to visit the office many a time, and you have to show evidence or proof, and it may take a lot of time. The sentence talks about that. No proper recourse for corrections in the system. Data, another important word we all know. Datum singular, data plural. Data can also be a collective noun, then we use a singular verb. Data analyzed by Liptech India suggest that the names of 7.6 crore workers have been deleted over the past 21 months. Ah, yes, very good, Anusha. She has written all the words. 7.6 crore workers have been deleted. Answer my question, which tense is this? Have been deleted. It is present perfect passive voice, not active voice, passive voice. And whenever you come across a sentence in passive voice or indirect speech, immediately you have to ask yourself what could be the sentence in active voice, what could be the sentence in direct speech. Here, imagine the subject is they. They have deleted over 7.6 crore workers. Active voice. Over 7.6 crore workers have been deleted by them. By them, we don't mention, it is understood. Past 21 months, due to discrepancies between the Aadhaar and the job card, among other reasons, with many of these done erroneously. Two important words. One is discrepancy, difference between two things when it comes to facts or data. Erroneously means what? In a way that is wrong or false, by mistake. There is a difference, discrepancies between what are the two things over here, Aadhaar and job card. Because of that, how many people got affected? 7.6 crore workers, their names have been deleted because of the discrepancies. What does the second part of the editorial deal with? There are other issues with the use of the Aadhaar based payments. What are the other issues? Where errors in any step of the process result in payment failures. Imagine in this process, linking process, some error somewhere, then it results in payment failures. The beneficiary does not get the payment. Apart from the spelling discrepancy, this is a common problem. with government agencies. Spelling is one thing and they type something else. It is clearly your ID or your PAN card, you see some spelling. But when it comes to Aadhaar or some other government agency related this thing, they enter the wrong spelling. That means they do it very casually. Apart from the spelling discrepancy issue between the Aadhaar and the job card of the worker, there is also the problem of mapping the Aadhaar to the wrong bank account for many. There are two problems over here. One problem related to name, wrong spelling, Aadhaar one spelling, and job card another spelling. There's a discrepancy, one problem. What is the other problem? Mapping or routing the Aadhaar to the wrong bank account for many. They don't route or they don't map the Aadhaar to the right bank account, to the wrong bank account for many. That is also a problem. In a number of cases, number, you have to recollect the two phrases. A number, the number. The number takes a singular verb and a number takes a plural verb. In a number of cases, payments can be diverted to some other account than the one beneficiaries prefer and also without their consent. Divert. Now you are listening with a focused mind. All of a sudden, some distraction, then you are diverted. Divert means what? To lose a focus and to go in a zigzag manner, go off the track. Payments can be diverted, taken in some other direction to some other account than the one beneficiaries prefer. As a beneficiary, I prefer a particular account, but they may send it to some other account and also without their consent. Means what? Without their agreement, without their approval. Claims by the government that Aadhaar use has reduced delays in wage payments. Now, what is the stand taken by the government? The government says Aadhaar use has reduced present perfect delays in wage payments. That means they could pay immediately without any delay. Have also not been met, have also not been borne out. This is an important expression you have to listen carefully. Claims by the government that Aadhaar use has reduced delays in wage payments have also not been borne out. In this context, borne out means what? Support. Have also not supported, haven't been supported, according to LibTech India, with wage delays largely due to insufficient funds in the first place. Government says wage delays because of discrepancies, and it also says has reduced delays in wage payments. But actually, that cannot be justified based on a particular source. What is the source? LibTech India. What does it say? Wage delays largely due to insufficient funds in the first place, not because of the technical issues. So this justification cannot be, is not acceptable. Without cleaning up, now how does the editorial end? Without cleaning up Aadhaar seeding and mapping with bank accounts, Aadhaar seeding and mapping with bank accounts, cleaning up problems are there. Making the ABPS mandatory will only create further issues. Without doing something, these two, making something mandatory, compulsory, in this context, ABPS, will only create further issues. Again, you have to focus on the word only. Why is it important? A common error, people use the word only at the end of the sentence, but we have to use it before whatever it describes. For example, she has solved two problems only, not correct. She has solved only two problems, then it is correct. The union government must revisit what is the solution based on the editorial. The union government must revisit this decision, means they have to consider, contemplate, introspect, and look at it again from a different perspective and work out, come up with a solution. Work out has two or three meanings. In this context, find a solution. Work out a way to correct the faulty seeding and mapping problems before imposing ABPS. There are two aspects. One is faulty seeding, it starts with that. Mapping problems linking to a wrong bank account, not the one preferred by the beneficiary. And they have to correct these two before imposing. Impose means to use force. Generally, we say don't impose your ideas on others. Imposing ABPS. But what is the response? The Ministry of Rural Development has said, another important expression you have to recollect, Whenever the reporting verb said, told, ordered, requested, urged, questioned, asked, reporting verbs, if the reporting verb is in past, the tense is changed to a corresponding past tense. But if the reporting verb is in present, present perfect, or future, tenses don't change into corresponding past tense. Based on that, it may consider, not might consider, has said that it may consider an exemption from ABPS on a case to case basis for gram panchayats if there are technical issues, but it would be better if the ministry conducts social audits to ascertain the extent of the problem before insisting on ABPS. What is the stand taken by the Ministry of Rural Development? Consider an exemption from ABPS on a case to case basis for gram panchayats if there are technical issues. Other issues they don't consider, but it would be better, opinion of the writer, it would be better if the ministry conducts social audits to ascertain means what? To find out or learn with certainty, confirm something, the extent of the problem before insisting on ABPS. MGNREGS remains a vital demand driven welfare scheme that helps the rural poor, and its implementation must not be dependent upon a faulty technological system. Main idea is being reiterated. It talks about the faulty technological system. It also talks about over dependence on technology tools because it deals with rural poor, the downtrodden people. It's a welfare scheme. We should not depend, must not be dependent upon. Must has two functions. One, to impose a personal obligation or an obligation imposed by the speaker. The other one, to convey the idea something is compulsory. Must not be dependent upon. Active voice or passive voice? Passive voice. We must not depend upon. Active voice. Something must not be dependent upon. Passive voice. A faulty technological system. Many beneficiaries get affected, badly affected. That's all about this editorial. Let us go to questions based on this editorial to improve your comprehension skill. The very first question, according to the editorial, why is the government making Aadhaar seeding mandatory for MG and REGS beneficiaries? So, what is the reason to make it mandatory? To increase delays in wage payments, to reduce rejection and plug leaks, hold this one, to complicate the payment process. All these are negative. Why will the government do something negative intentionally, deliberately? That does not make any sense whatsoever. To discourage workers from participating, all these go against the idea, objective of the scheme. What is the objective of the scheme? To benefit the rural people. Then delay is not a positive thing, complicate not a positive thing, discourage not a positive thing. What is the answer over here? To reduce rejection and plug leaks. Plug means to fill the gaps. What percentage of job card holders, always focus on the keywords, would be affected by the deadline for Aadhaar details under this scheme according to the editorial? What is the percentage? 5%, 12.7%, 20%, 35%. What percentage of job card holders? Seal, close, good Divya. 12.7 or 35%. I think it is 35%. Look at it carefully. Go back and check. Some students say 12.7%, some say 35%. I think it is 35% because here it talks about job card holders. Let us check why to 35% of job card holders for this mode of payment. So what is the answer? Job card holders. That's why I always tell students when you read a question, you have to focus on the key words. What are the key words? One percentage and job card holders. Then answer is obviously 35%. No second thoughts about that. What issue does editorial highlight regarding the names of workers being deleted over the past 21 months? Some issue has been highlighted based on regarding The names of workers being deleted over the past 21 months. What is the problem? Insufficient funds, not correct. Errors in Aadhaar job card mapping, lack of demand for this scheme, inadequate government support. What answer is here? It is B, obviously. Errors in Aadhaar job card mapping. B is the answer. Why does the editorial argue that making ABPS mandatory without addressing the issues with Aadhaar seeding will create further problems? Why does the editorial think it will create further problems without correcting or working on the problems? It will lead to higher wages. It will result in fewer beneficiaries. You can hold this one. It will cause payment failures and discrepancies. It will speed up the payment process. So, between the two, more appropriate, more relevant, more pertinent, it will cause payment failures and discrepancies. What does the Ministry of Rural Development suggest as a possible solution for technical issues related to ABPS? All the keywords are important. Only then you can select. Mandatory implementation for all gram panchayats, exemption on a case-to-case basis, ignoring the issues and proceeding with ABPS, increasing the deadline for Aadhaar. If that is the case, why will they write this editorial? They wouldn't have written. What is the answer for this? Exemption on a case-to-case basis. Answer is the B, second option. No, no, no. Not mandatory implementation. Exemption on a case-to-case basis. Same wording has been used. Possible solution is what? Exemption on a case-to-case basis. Not A, it is B. How come you guys have solution suggest? Again, you have to go back. Shall I show the answer? The Ministry of Rural Development has said that it may consider an exemption from ABPS on a case-to-case basis for gram panchayats. So exemption, case-to-case basis. If there are technical issues, in the question you see technical issues, that is what you have to consider. Now let us have a look at the question. Question number 5. What is that I have underlined? Ministry of Rural Development, possible solution for technical issues. Exactly. Based on that, what is the answer? B is the answer, but you guys have chosen A. That's a bit surprising. No problem. Let us go to idioms. There are 5 idioms. Try to answer, try to get all the 5 correct. First one, okay, sir. Okay, sir has 2 meanings. It means something like you accept it. Second meaning, fine, please continue. Don't spend too much time on that. It could be positive, it could be negative. Keep to oneself. Know the ins and outs of something. Leave one high and dry. Let down. Make a dent. All important idioms. And many of these go with informal English or everyday English, conversational English. Keep to oneself. He always keeps to himself. She always keeps to herself. Means what? Be reserved. Be, be reserved. Answer is okay. If it is the first one, fine. Second one also, no problem. Because we are hard pressed for time here. Every second is important. Keep to oneself. How do you frame the sentence? She always keeps to herself. He always keeps to himself. Means what? Reserved. Know the ins and outs of something. Usually it goes with subject, process, policy, and the first one goes with persons. What does it mean? Know the ins and outs of something. Know thoroughly. I know the ins and outs of the procedure. I know the procedure thoroughly. Leave one high and dry. They have given many a time this one. She has been left high and dry by her family. It goes with persons, obviously, and also family, friends. His friends have left him high and dry when he was in distress. Means what? Fail to help or support. Answer is C. Have you written C? Here it is A and here it is C. Let down. Let down means what? Oh, let us see. Leave one high and dry. Leave one in distress. Let us go to E here. E. I will repeat. Keep to oneself means what? Be reserved. D is the answer. Know the ins and outs of something means what? Know thoroughly. A is the answer. And leave one high and dry. There are two very close options. Fail to help or support. Leave one in distress. This goes with a negative context. Leave one high and dry. Leave one in distress. Answer is E. I hope you guys got it. And what is the next one? Let down. Let down means disappoint someone, fail to help or support. Here we have to use C. It was a let down. Let down means what? Fail to help or support. Don't let down your parents. Don't let down your teachers. And help or support. I think this is also better word would have been. Please write. Let down means what? I usually give one word, that is disappoint. Make a dent means make a slight impression, not a major impact, subtle or slight impression. Make a dent. This is easy. I think we have a problem with, I would like to reiterate. Fourth one, though answer is C based on the options, the appropriate word let down means what? Disappoint. Don't let down your parents means what? Don't disappoint your parents. Go to the words. These are the words you got yesterday. What is the first one here? Probe. If one student comes up with the meaning, I will tick that word. I will go to the next one. And before I wind up the session, I would like to tell you guys today, no, only there because of the, who is this? Pandu. No, there because of yellow, difficult to make out. Now it is, I have changed. Don't worry about that. Today we have a session at 8 p.m. Mocks, SBI. Perhaps it is the last one. Today is the last one because you have an exam on 5th. Tomorrow, not advisable. Tomorrow evening, it is going to be, I think, not visible. Yes, Pandu, right. I'll write here D, A, and E. Here C. Here B. Better. Try to attend the mock today, 8 p.m. SBI Clerk 2024 mini mocks. I will come up with the thumbnail image after this session. Probe, investigate, very good. And skewed, suddenly change or distorted or change the shape of something, direction of something. Heartening, cheerful, encouraging, very good. Shed, to drop something, leaves, skin, inhibitions. Generally, we say there's another combination you have to shed your inhibitions. We all have a lot of inhibitions. That is quite natural. And that's why we always, many a time, we feel shy. In that context, we say, shed your inhibitions. You will get success in social life. Exemplified means what? Natural removal of or drop something that is true. Exemplify, be a typical example of something. Unfurl, open up, unfold, goes with a flag or a piece of cloth. Epitomize, very good. Who is that? Divya. I appreciate that. Be a typical example. Epitome, there's an important word. Epitome of something means what? I appreciate the students who join my platform because many students over here, they seem to be good at vocabulary and also grammar rules. Usually we don't expect. I had this kind of experience when I was with an academy, SSC. I would give one word, they would come up with two, three words. And every question we would get about, imagine I would take 25 questions, 25 into four options, 100 words. But end of the session, they would get about 200 words, 150 to 200. So much enrichment, so much enrichment. Now I see that kind of response over here. If you guys look at the comment box, there's so many students have been responding, writing the synonyms and related information. It's a source to learn. A rudimentary, not fully developed, initial stage. Paradigm, that's also a good word. Lakshman, very good. I appreciate. A vignette, a window, a work of someone, either writing, painting, artwork. It shows the person's caliber or ability. A vignette provides a vignette means provides a window. A short piece of description, you can say, yes, Adi Lakshmi. Inevitable. Your success is inevitable. What does it mean? New year, you have to tell yourself, resolution. My success is inevitable. Means what? Certain to happen. No one can stop, nothing can stop. That should be the attitude. With that attitude, you have to work 2024. You should tell yourself it is going to be my year and success is inevitable, likely to happen, certain to happen, unavoidable. That's all for today. Thanks for being with me. And join at 8 p.m. an important mock, perhaps the last one, because 5th you have the exam. Tomorrow evening, I don't want to take. And check your score. You'll come to know where exactly you stand. Based on that, you can work on brush up the basics. Thank you very much. I will see you guys at 8 p.m. Thank you.